Hello everyone, good evening. My name is Nicole and welcome back to our English class. I'm sorry, I started really I left you waiting for about 5 minutes, I guess. It's because I was checking my what do you call that? My laptop. Okay? All right. Again, hello once again everyone. My name is Nicole. Welcome back to our English class. I hope you had a great day or you are having a great day today. Now, as you can see on your screen, we are still continuing with conversational English, but for today, for a moment, let me check my. Um, okay, it's cut for a moment. Okay, I think it's all good. All right. Hello. Okay. Now, here in conversational English, again, this is not just about exchanging information for a moment. Okay. Again, conversational English, this isn't just about exchanging information, it is about building, it is about maintaining relationships. So, a beginner might be able to ask for directions or order food. They often struggle when the conversation shifts to more personal or casual topics. So, the kind that build rapport, and we wanted to build rapport here in our English classes. This is where socializing vocabulary comes in. It's the set of words, phrases, and expressions that English speakers use to initiate, to sustain, and conclude any social interactions, whether they're with friends, they're with family, or new acquaintances. So this is not formal academic lexicon. It's the language of connection. So I think you can think of it as a social way that makes conversation flow smoothly. Okay, without this kind of vocabulary, even a grammatically perfect sentence can sound odd, robotic, or just plain awkward. So, for example, a student might be able to say, "I am happy to meet you," but it sounds more natural and warm to say, "It's so good to finally meet you," or "Nice to meet you." This subtle difference is what makes a huge impact on how a speaker is perceived. Now, the importance of this vocabulary becomes even clearer when we consider the context of language learning. Many students, especially in places where English is learned on a second or foreign language, have a strong foundation in reading and writing, but lack confidence in speaking. Now, this often stems from a fear of making social blunders or not knowing how to respond appropriately. So, by focusing on socializing vocabulary, we empower our students not just to speak but also to connect. Okay? All right. Let's see what do we have here. Again, we are talking about pronunciation for socializing vocabulary, which is under what? Under conversational English. Okay. So we've already done with casual phrases and small talk pronunciation series. We're starting with another series on social how do you call that? Social vocabulary. Okay? All right. Now, before we are introduced to the different phrases when it comes to socializing, what phrases we do or we use, let's have let's identify what socializing vocabulary is. Okay? Now, vocabulary or socializing vocabulary, it is having conversations, making new acquaintances, building and maintaining friendships, attending social events, and generally interacting with others for enjoyment or connection. Meaning that here, the foundation why socializing vocabulary is the key to conversational fluency. Well, the fluency is not just about speaking quickly and without hesitation. It is about speaking appropriately and effectively in a given situation. Now, a student can feel or can perfectly conjugate verbs but respond to how's it going with is it going well? so that it would sound unnatural. Sorry for that. Now again, this is a type of language that allow learners to initiate and sustain relationships. It provides the verbal doorways into a connection and the bridges that keeps it from stalling. We also allow learners to project a genuine personality using natural phrases like "What's up" or "Long time no see" allows the speaker to sound like themselves. We also allow empathy and emotional intelligence. We acknowledge the listener's feelings like "That's enough. I'm so sorry to hear that," and such things. Okay? All right. Now, again, that is socializing vocabulary for a moment. Okay. Here in socializing vocabulary, we also initiate and open a conversation or conversations. This is the what do you call that? This is the part where the vocabulary serves to get the ball rolling. Okay, you can say greeting. This goes beyond hello. We have a spectrum of greetings based on formality and familiarity. Formal, how do you do, which is less common now. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. It's a pleasure to meet you. That is formal. An informal way is hey, what's up? How's it going? What's new? Okay? How about question? These are the low stakes topics designed to find common ground. For example, how was your weekend? Busy day, huh? Any plans for the holiday? Or context specific, are you enjoying the party? How do you find your classmate and such things? Okay? Next is we also appreciate the stranger, meaning that learners need phrases to politely start a conversation with someone they don't know. Okay? For example, excuse me, do you know what time it is? Or sorry to bother you, but I hope you don't mind me asking, but something like that. Okay? Second, sustaining and deepening the conversation. Sorry. Sustaining and deepening the conversation. So once a conversation is started, the challenge is to keep it going. This is where a learner shows they are an active and engaged listener. Okay, there are of course 5 areas you need to consider: the witness and such things. Okay, all right. Okay, all good. I think everything's good. Now, here we have the different meaning on socializing vocabulary. Are we all good with this before we proceed with the different phrases? Okay, let's keep in mind, everyone, that socializing vocabulary is far more than list of words or phrases to be memorized. It is the very essence of conversational English. Okay, by moving our teaching focus beyond grammar drills and into the messy and predictable and beautiful world of human interaction, we empower our students with the skills to do more than just to communicate information and truly appreciate in the social world of English speaking communication. Okay, all right. So what do we have here? Since we're talking about socializing vocabulary, so I have here different words that you might want to consider. You might be able to expose to. Okay? All right. Okay. First, what is the first word? Invite. Again, invite, meaning to ask someone to attend. Again, to ask someone to attend. The tip that we've given here is that you stress on second syllable, which is the verb form. Sean sounds like shun. Again, if we try to put our emphasis on the second syllable, it is usually expected that particular laptop is dead or close to dead. Okay? For a moment. Okay, that is invite. For a moment. Again, invite or yeah. Okay. Now here, invite. Again, invite. What do we have here? Let's look at the IP transcription. Are we familiar with the IP transcription? Again, are we familiar with IPA transcription? IPA transcription or IPA, this is International Phonetic Alphabet. What is this? What's IPA? This is where, how'd you call that? This is where you can see how each word can be pronounced correctly. Okay? Because again, letters or the alphabet does not coincide with the number of sounds that we have in English language. So we have to have a guide or a framework to see what words or yes, what letters are pronounced correctly. Because in IPA, one sound, one letter, I guess. Yeah, one sound, one letter. Okay? So here in invite, as you can see, this one, okay, let me highlight that one. That is an example of what we call diphthong. What is a diphthong? This is when patients are um both patients are Monday and Wednesday. Although they are not Monday and Wednesday, they are Tuesday clients, but I will consider that one. Again, this is invite and meaning to ask someone to attend. That is inviting. For a moment. Sorry for a moment, everyone. Let me see. Okay. That is to ask someone to attend. Ask someone to attend. If you invite someone, you are asking them to attend this particular event or to attend this particular meeting. Okay? All right. Again, this one. Let's look at the tip. Stress on second syllable, which is our verb form. If you remember our topic on this one, in one of our previous meetings, where how do you call it? Where the emphasis of a word can totally change the meaning of a word, right? Invite. So we try to emphasize here our voice on the second syllable, which is vite, because we are referring to a verb word. Okay, invite, not invite, but invite. Okay, next, or wait, the word invite here again. This is the most, of course, very common, very familiar. This is one of the most common and useful words in English. It is connected with people, connected with relationships and social life. So when we talk about invite, we usually think about asking someone to join us in an activity, in an event, or even a simple conversation. For example, if you say, I want to invite you to dinner, it means you're asking someone politely and warmly to eat with you. Okay? But the word invite is much deeper and than, just asking. It it shows friendliness, connection, and respect. So when you invite someone, you are not only asking them to come, but you're also telling them, you are welcome, I value you, I want you to be part of this moment with me. Okay? That is why learning this word is important. Okay. Now here in the meaning of invite, it's the most basic. At its most basic, invite means to ask someone to come or join. That's basically the meaning of invite. For example, I asked her to join the game. I invited her to join the game. That's friendly and welcoming. So the word invite already includes a sense of kindness. It is more than just a request, it is a peaceful expression. Okay? Now, this word can be used in different forms as a verb, which is our focus here. As a verb or the action, I invite you to my house. She invited me to the party. They're inviting us to dinner. So, this is the most scheduled thing. Yes? How do you find it so far? What do you think? Maybe because this is already familiar to you. So, any thoughts or maybe takeaways upon reading, upon listening to me, or maybe um maybe about your background knowledge? Okay. How about sentences? Can anyone give me a full sentence where this word is used? As simple as he invited me yesterday, or I invite you come tomorrow. That's conciseness. Okay? Very simple, but the idea is already there. Are we getting that? Okay. Let's move on to invitation. Invitation. Now look at its IP transcription. That is how we say it. Now this one is that one with it looks like letter F. That is the symbol for the SH sound or the sh sound. Okay. All right. Invitation. Again, invitation. There's also another diphthong here. Diphthong again is when vowel plus vowel sound joined together to create one sound. Okay, A, that is a vowel sound or vowel topic. Okay, invitation. We are familiar with this. A written or spoken request to join. Now, Sean sounds like SHUN. So the word invitations here may sound simple at first, but it carries deep meaning in human life. So when we hear the word, we usually think about cards, letters, or messages that ask us to join a celebration. So like maybe you can think about cards, letters, or messages that ask us to join a celebration. Okay? Like a birthday, a wedding, or a party. But the invitation channel. What do you think? Sorry. Okay, this one. Now, when someone gives you an invitation, they're not only asking you for asking you to come. They're saying you matter. I want you to share this moment with me. Meaning the person really remembered you. Okay. All right. Now, invitations, as its most basic, are formal or informal requests to join event, activity, or gathering. So they can be spoken or written, or even nonverbal. Okay. All right. Next, um, what is the name of the subject? I'm sorry. What is the name of the not the subject? What is the name of the word? The next word. That is RVSP. Okay. This is a reply to an invitation. For example, in written, um, that are examples. Maybe not directly an example, but why invitations are powerful symbols. Because again, aside from this one, we also need some prior knowledge on invitations of then compared to now. Now, invitations, we all know they are not just about, events. They're simple of inclusion. Yeah, like you are part of something better. They're also, what you call that? They're also a symbol of trust where someone values your presence, and then love. Families and friends invite because they care, okay? Respect is also there. A formal invitation shows honor. Okay. All right. That is an example to call that setting. Okay. Next is guest. Again, guest. Before that, the tip here in RVSP is we say each letter clearly. That's just how we say it. Okay. Say each letter clearly. Okay. All right. Next, and the fourth one is guest. Oh no, for a moment. For a moment, everyone, huh? All right, before that, let me check because it is really not working well. Okay? Okay. Socializing vocabulary. So far, we talked about invite, invitation, and RVSP. Okay? Next to that is the word guest. Guest. Okay, so this one. This is the person who attends, and it ends with a strong T sound. Guest. Okay, so the word guest, it is a simple but important word in English, especially when we are talking about socializing. A guest is a person who goes to an event or place because someone else has invited them. Think of it like this: if you have a birthday party, all the people talk about it. You have a how do you call it? Bald headed, not bald headed, but a little bit of hair. Okay. Now, again, a guest is a person who goes to an event, to a place because someone else has invited them. You can think of like a birthday party where all people you invite are your guests. So the word itself comes from an old German word that meant a stranger or visitor. So this is interesting because if it is showed by anyone, of course you all should be proud of it. Okay, so the word guest is a simple PowerPoint English. Okay, all right, let's move on to the next cut. Alright, sige. Alright, let's have that. Okay. Yes. Please comment any kind of answer that you have, okay? Okay. That is what? That is my name. Now again, guest is the person who attends. You end it with strong T sound. Guest. Oh no. Guests. So the word guest is a simple but important word in English, especially when we are talking about socializing. A guest is a person who goes to an event or a place because someone else has invited them. You can think of it like this: if you have a birthday party, if you have for all the people you join on that, you invite your guests. So the word itself comes from an old German word that means or meant a stranger or a visitor. So this is interesting because it shows up that a guest is a visitor who is welcomed. Okay, when you're a guest, you are not just a stranger anymore. You are someone who has been invited and is now a part of the event. Okay, now, being guest isn't just about showing up, of course. It is about a whole set of actions, a whole set of rules that people know without even thinking about it. So, for a person learning English, these rules are very important to understand. First, the rule of being a guest. What does that rule mean? Meaning that there are few unwritten for big goals for student here or guest or anything. Okay? So the context or the role of being a guest is the context. Okay? All right. So now here we use the word guest in many different ways. Some simple examples, we include this one. Invite, invitation, RVSP. These are just some of the many words, okay? Let's focus on one for now. Alright, I've already sent it to you. Okay. Now, when it comes to how do you call it, love team culture, she criticizes that one. In all these cases, the main idea is the same. The host is the one in charge. They're the ones who in control and who are responsible for the data breached or whatever. So, for a person learning English, understanding the word host is about understanding the role of a leader in a social situation. Okay, it is a proactive role that requires them to use their English to make others feel welcome. So by learning, of course, how to be a good host, a person learning style can feel more confident and can have more active role in social events. So this is a key to telling they can create a what a positive and fun environmental for others. So being a host is a way to use English not just in a polite way, but also you give up a welcome, you give comfort, and you give a good time. And it is a powerful way to use the language. Okay? All right. Invite, that is invite. Next invite is invitation. Again, invitation is a written or spoken request to join. This is the official message that a person received, okay, or receives. For example, she sent out wedding invitations last week. Next, RVSP, meaning an acronym that stands for Répondez s'il vous plaît. Répondez s'il vous plaît, which is French for reply if you please. It's a request for a person who to reply to maintain. Just let the who know if they have any question or clarifications that they wanted to be clarified with. None? Are you sure? How about the others? Okay, that is good. That is invite or invitation. Okay, next, socializing vocabulary. Am I correct? Right. Right. Okay. So this is the second meeting invitation. Again, this is where you, for a moment, the vocabulary is invitation. So here, this is the IP transcription, meaning the guide for how you will pronounce this particular word. Okay? Are we getting that one? IPA. I had a whole series of discussion when it comes to the International Phonetic Alphabet, or IPA. You can look at that particular video or videos. Okay? When it comes to IPA, you will understand what IPA is all about. It is very important that you understand that one, because IPA is a really great, or is a great help for us, especially when talking about uh, learning how to say a particular word. It is a guide in pronunciation. Here we have the meaning of guest. This is the person who attends, and then the tip is you end with a strong T sound. So guests, make sure T is there. Really, okay. That's invitation. RVSP, reply to an invitation, meaning this is as you can see, RVSP, this is an acronym for if I'm not mistaken, this it is French. I cannot remember the exact French word, but I remember that the meaning is reply if you please. Okay, so the person is asking for a good reply. Okay, all right. Now, this is a request for a person to reply to an invitation to let the host know if they can come or not in the meeting or in the invitation. For example, um, please RVSP by Friday so we can order enough food. Okay? You mentioned please RVSP. Respond to an invitation so that they can order enough food for everyone. Okay? All right. When it comes to pronunciation, you just simply say each letter clearly. RVSP. This is an essential piece of etiquette because the host needs to know how many people are coming to their event. Okay? All right. Next, guest. Again, guest is the person who attends an event after being invited. Okay? All right. So guest, a meaning here is the person not the person, but person who attends the meeting, the event, and such things. For example sentences we have here: each guest received a small gift. When it comes to pronunciation, you make sure to end the word with a strong T sound. For some English learners, making this final sound clear can be a little tricky. Okay? Next is host. I'm sorry. Let's try to elaborate on that. Okay. Again, this is guest.